Hey guys, we're Ozark Growers. Today we're going to be talking about terpenes and cannabinoids. We can get started. We're going to start off talking about terpenes a little bit. So terpenes are kind of like the plant's natural way of repelling the bad insects from attacking it and bringing in pollinators to help it out.
So it makes a smell, it gives off an aroma to make the bad guys think, ooh, that's going to be yucky. And then the good guys think, ooh, that's going to have a lot of pollen.
Right, so it actually has a function in nature besides human use, right?
Yeah.
And these are not unique to cannabis as well. These are in
Plants,
all kinds of different plants out there.
Yeah, so whenever you're walking around smelling flowers, there's terpenes involved. Terpenes are part of everything that's growing outside pretty much. That's why terpenes in cannabis oftentimes smell like something that you've smelled already. Yeah. So you can relate them to lots of different things. They're complex because they're doing different things. Like she said, it's repelling things as well as bringing things in. So sometimes it's kind of hard to like put your mind on exactly what it smells like, or sometimes they're really unique smells, but that's what we find really interesting about the plant.
And it's weird that I never thought cannabis could smell citrusy, right? But we've grown a strain that smells exactly like an orange peel, and it's because this terpene is present in that strain or whatever. And so another crazy thing is that you can do companion planting and actually grow like lavender or basil, cilantro, different things that have a lot of terpenes in them that naturally produce a lot of terpenes, and you can grow that along with your cannabis, and it could make your cannabis produce more of those terpenes. And some people even, like I said, the plant, it's their natural way of getting those predators off of them. The plants, if they have a little bit of predator pest like tension there, they might produce more of those terpenes. And so some people purposefully put their plants under stress by putting like a spider mite on there or something like that to get it to produce more terpenes.
You want your lavender to smell better.
Right. It's stronger.
Infest it with something naughty.
The plant's like, oh no, and it starts pushing out more terpenes and producing more.
This is where in the soil and like the tea world, insect frass comes into play. Not to get too deep into that right now, but
what did you just say?
Insect frass would be like the exoskeletons, the sheddings of bugs, maybe their waste product, and they take all of that and kind of blend it together into a liquid. And then when you introduce this into your soil, it kind of puts a stressor on there, like they're getting attacked by these insects.
They think somebody's there.
The plants know. The plants know, and so then they get healthier and they produce more terpenes. Is kind of the thought behind that.
So that's a good way of making your plants think the plant is being attacked by the pests because they sense that poop, and you don't actually have any real stressors in your garden.
Yeah,
that's better than putting spider mites on.
Yeah, it's a little.
It is better. Okay, so there are around 150 terpenes, probably more, but just a good number, a good base number, 150. They're found in essential oils as well as cannabis, peppermint, spearmint, all those things. And when we think about essential oils and cannabis, we think about the health, the medicinal value, right? Mm-hmm. So these terpenes also have medicinal value. Although they are part of the scent and the fragrance, they also have some medicinal value. And we can tell you guys a few terpenes and
some of the main ones that we find.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are like pretty much the top 4 or 5 terpenes that you're gonna see whenever you read that bag. Like there are, like she said, to put a number, 150, there's probably an infinite number that we're going to keep finding as time goes on. And cannabis, I'm sure, is going to expand with its terpenes as well, but there's kind of a base layer of the same ones that you find in most of them as the top terpenes. So limonene is the more citrusy and kind of orange smell that she talked about earlier. So not only like smell with your nose, but you taste it whenever you inhale the smoke, at least hopefully you do. And this is like an uplifting effect. So like she's saying with the essential oils, these provide effects. Each one of them is different. So euphoria, kind of a smiley, giggly, up high feeling.
Good for anxiety and depression.
Yeah,
For
that
sure.
would kind of be, that's across the board. There's lots of similarities, but as a whole for limonene, that's what those would be.
So the next one we have on our list is myrcene, and it is more of your earthy, musky kind of smell on that, and it reduces pain and helps you relax. It's a little bit of a sedative effect on there.
So pinene would be another uplifter comparable to limonene. You smell it, it's because of the name, it smells like pine. People think it smells like wood sometimes, but not so much as the caryophyllene smells. So there's a little bit of a difference. You can smell a pine needle, and a pine wood smell is quite different than earthy outside wood that would be a little different.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you clean your house, they put that in a lot of those cleaning things, and it smells clean. So then you adjust your brain to know that smell is clean. It smells clean. You go walking in a pine forest, it's so clean in here.
Yeah, it's nice and fresh.
It gets in your head, but the effect is there.
Yeah.
And even just like, we're talking about these smells having medicinal effect, right? Just think of how you feel when you walk into a forest, or when you walk into nature and you smell something really good. Like it just makes you feel good too.
Yeah,
it
will uplift your mood from the smells of things like that.
Yeah,
like
for
you're
sure.
saying. So this is a focus and energy boost.
The next one we have is caryophyllene, and
that's a word.
Yeah, it is. It's one of the most common ones. It's a spicy, kind of peppery scent on that one. Yeah, you'd probably like that one.
That.
It's an antidepressant and an anxiety reducer as well. And so all of these are found in cannabis. They're pretty common. And one thing that's crazy is that they aren't the only things that control the effect. So when we say these terpenes are controlling the effect, they have a bearing. There's a lot going on, and so these are partial. These are part of the picture, but you need the whole picture. So that's where cannabinoids kind of come in. Some cannabinoids naturally occur within your body. We all have an endocannabinoid system, and
this is how we process it.
Right.
So whenever you inhale, that's what it's targeting, is your internal endocannabinoid system. That's what's feeling the effects. So sometimes when cannabis is first introduced, like we've talked in other videos, your body's never really felt it, even though it has the sensors there to receive it.
And it doesn't know what to do with it.
The first few times that you may encounter cannabis, your body doesn't quite know what to do with it. So you might not feel the effects that you're going to feel later on normally. It's a little different in the beginning.
Yeah, and I mean, I've got friends, and I'm sure you do too, that that cannabis doesn't do anything to me. That doesn't work for me. It didn't work for me. Okay, well, a lot of things don't work when it's your first time. There's a lot of factors involved. We talked about that too, set and setting. But we, the three of us, will have agreed that just in life, maybe give things a chance.
Yeah.
for sure.
Second tries.
For sure.
I mean, for I'm not talking about cannabis only. I'm talking about everything for humans, for any experience. Like whatever you're experiencing, it's just healthier. You'll have a better life and relationships with everybody if you are open and don't be so black and white on things. Like just decide immediately. Exactly. I don't like that.
Yeah. Not everything's the same when you try it again, you know?
Yeah.
Take those risks and
maybe you do it 2 or 3 times and you decide you don't like it and it's not for you. And that's fine too. That is completely fine. And I'm talking about cannabis and pizza and relationships with humans. Like you don't know. Just
pineapple on pizza. Right? You try it again.
So mixed in, like we're saying, these cannabinoids are giving you effects just like terpenes. So the most common cannabinoid that we would be talking about, I'd say overall, would be THC. So this is the psychoactive effect. This is where there's THCV, THCA. They're a little bit different. There's a few different THC varieties, but THC in itself is what is going to give you the mind feeling. This is what's changing up a little bit of what's going on.
Yeah, you're psychoactive.
Yeah, psychoactive boost.
The other common one that you guys have probably heard of is CBD. This is more body feelings. This is more medicinal. And this is where your anti-inflammatories and things like that lie within the CBD cannabinoid. Also, I just wanted to throw this out there real quick. There are thousands of cannabinoids within cannabis, and when you light that on fire or heat it up, the molecules are changing. So like when Seb said THCA is present in the cannabis, when you light it on fire, it converts over to THC. Things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's super complex. So
THCA converts to THC?
why don't you Google it real quick? It might be THCV.
'Cause I thought we were saying
No, I think that's right.
before the THCA is heated, molecules are too large to fit in the cannabinoid receptors, making them inactive and non-psychoactive. However, once THC is heated, the molecules become THC. You guys are
So there you go. It is.
Which has a
yeah.
smaller molecule and fits into our cannabinoid receptors. So that is the vehicle
Yeah,
that lets us use it.
the THC molecule.
That's why you have to bake cannabis before you put it in an edible.
Sure.
Because if you just eat the THCA, you're not going to feel anything. And that's why I kind of laugh when people come to our facility and they're like, "Oh, I bet that frog, that toad in your bed is so high all the time." And I'm like,
No.
even if you eat a bud, you're not going to feel the psychoactive high effects because you have to heat it up. But
You may feel
I just let them talk.
You may feel some internal, like a little bit of a buzz in your stomach, but the psychoactive isn't there.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
So CBN is another common cannabinoid, and it is your more sedative, sleepy. Well, it's kind of complicated because it doesn't necessarily put you right to sleep. It will help you stay asleep when you take it.
Yeah, and along with staying asleep, CBN also helps with joint pain. Also with joint pain is CBG. So CBG helps with joints, but it's very internal, so it's good for gut health and digestion as well. You can grow just CBG plants, just CBD plants, and you can change your THC to CBN. So we've talked about that earlier as well. Over time, the THC molecule is kind of the trichome is going through different phases of its life. So in the beginning it's clear, and then by the end it can change to amber. So if you were to let your flower turn amber all the way, you're kind of converting your THC into CBN. So now whenever you test it out, you have a higher CBN content, and whenever you smoke it, it will make you more sleepier probably among the inhale on combustion, but it also will keep you asleep longer than just a THC would. And
it's crazy how you can visibly see the color change. That's a reaction of the molecule changing. Yeah. It's the ripening of a tomato, essentially, right? Green to red to then whatever's next, rotting and brown. Exactly. It's that ripening process is happening in the cannabis from when the trichomes are clear to milky. They're filled with that THCA, and then the CBN starts taking over and they become amber. So, just like with foods, these terpenes and smells that you might be picking up on foods, me and you may have different opinions on them. So when some people smell cilantro and taste cilantro, it tastes like metal or it tastes like grass. Or
and
soap.
Some people say that.
So there's lots, some people love it. They think it brings out all the flavor in the dish. I love cilantro, but just like with these basil, cilantros, things that we use to really bring out the flavor in food, some people think that these terpenes smell very different. So sometimes I may be smelling citrus and Kara might think it smells like BO.
It's true. And what's weird about this is that it's possible that within our own biochemistry makeup or whatever, within our own bodies, when we smell it, maybe the stuff that smells better to us or more appealing is actually the more medicinal compounds that we need, right? Right, yeah. There's a lot that goes into it every time, like we said. So that's a little out there.
There is.
It is, but I mean, I've heard of pregnant people eating laundry detergent because there was something in it that their body...
Deficient in?
Yeah, that they're deficient in, and they'd smell it and be like, ooh.
They just
or people who crave salt. Things like that,
salt.
Iron, things with iron in it.
Yeah.
Your body knows what it needs and wants.
And it craves it.
Yeah.
So smell the different options when you're in there in the dispensary and they have everything up on that shelf for you to look at. Ask to smell them differently, especially even if they have the same terpene profile whenever they're up there. It may look the same on paper, but each one will have its own unique smells, and that's why you should really look through everything and don't just go by the same one that you get every time, because
Yeah.
there may be one that's a little bit different, but it might be better for your body.
For sure. And even though, so when you look at a package to see what terpenes are in the cannabis product that you're buying, they could have the same exact list of terpenes and still smell different. Which is scientifically, that kind of blows my mind a little bit, because I'm like, if it has limonene or in there, it should smell like a lemon. It should smell citrusy, but that's just not. It's way more complex than this.
Exactly.
It's way more complex.
Well, it's the amount too.
It's the amount, and even like there's other compounds in there that are affecting it.
Exactly.
And so I want to talk a little bit about the entourage effect as well. When you have terpenes and cannabinoids present in the product, in the cannabis, it kind of creates this entourage effect where they have the synergy together, and they magnify the effects of the cannabis on the user, and enhance the medicinal effect as well.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
They're working together. It's a team effort from everybody in there. Exactly.
And so that's why when we did the series on organic versus synthetic, we talked about how it enhances the flavor and the smell a lot, right? That's a little bit more important than you'd think, because it also has to do with effect. If it's gonna smell stronger and taste stronger, it probably has more medicinal value as well.
Absolutely.
This is very in depth, and it's just cool to know that all this is happening in the plant. A lot of people are just like,
oh yeah,
get that thing that makes me sleep good, or get some of that stuff that makes me giggle. There's a lot going on here.
Exactly.
It's intricate and it's natural. It's just really cool. If you dig in, it's really cool.
There's a lot to be learned.
Yeah.
And it's going to keep changing. We're going to keep learning more for sure.
And because just think, this stuff has been illegal for so many years. Like
so don't talk about it.
Don't talk
right?
It's been very hard.
Right.
Nobody was allowed to talk.
They couldn't even research on the plant when it was a Schedule I drug. And so now the doors are opening and there's so much research happening. It's crazy. Just wait and see how much knowledge we're going to have about this plant in 20 years. It's insane.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
And we want to be a part of that.
It will be. Thanks for tuning in today.
Yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys.
I hope you guys do your own research and learn a little bit more on these terpenes and what you might like yourself.
We'll catch you next time.